Buddy Shake, buddy. Go on. YouTube. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Wavy Just. Damn, ever since that Barcelona Real Madrid El Clasico Copa del Rey final, I think I broke my chair, so now my shit got the rage bounce on it. You feel me? My shit go way back. This shit go way back, way back. But this video here, we're here to talk about the Champions League upcoming games, previews and predictions. So we have the semifinals, first legs. Arsenal versus PSG is tomorrow, and then Inter versus Barcelona is on Wednesday. Now, as you know, Barcelona fan, but in the Premier League, I like to root for Arsenal. I did root for Man City the year that Haaland joined because I just wanted to. I like players. And I like to see certain teams go on good runs. But I don't feel known strongly about any specific team in the Prem. But I do like Arsenal the most if I had to pick one. Arsenal, sometimes I root for Chelsea, sometimes I root for United. I'm kind of a triche, The only teams I don't like, Liverpool. I was rooting against Liverpool this whole time because, they knocked us out in 2019. But yeah, either than that, I like Arsenal. So, I'm rooting for Arsenal versus PSG. I used to be a PSG fan just because of Neymar. And then once Neymar left, it's a hard club to support. PSG isn't very interesting. This is probably their best, most interesting squad that they've ever had. But as you know, Barcelona just beat Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. Unfortunately, we had to play 120 minutes because we couldn't get any refereeing decisions because the referee was scared his son was going to get thrown into a locker. So we didn't get, the penalties that, probably would have, closed the game early in the first or even in the second half. We could have put the game to bed. Even in, in just full time when there was that Ferran Torres, penalty shot that we didn't get when Rudiger pulled his leg out. We won regardless, and, it's better to win this way than to win by penalties and, people leaving it up to refereeing decisions. So it is cool, but I just don't like that we played 120 minutes and we have a Champions League fixture. Luckily for us, we played them on Wednesday, and I'm pretty sure Inter has played more recently than we have. They played Sunday, we played Saturday. So, shit, I guess that helps. And they lost. So as for Inter, Inter has been on a pretty poor run of form lately. They lost to Bologna, it seems like they're about to bottle the league, not gonna lie. They are down 3 points to Napoli, and Napoli, is just a good team. So it seems like they might bottle the league. And, if I'm Inter, I'm thinking, what would we have to compete for? The Champions League. So, if they put everything into the Champions League, their treble hopes are gone. They lost 3-0 to Milan. Apparently they've lost to Milan in their last, or they dropped points to Milan in their last 5 games. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, damn. April 2nd, a draw in the Coppa Italia. I'm guessing was this the first leg? Then a draw in the league. Lost to them in the Super Cup. Was this the final? Yeah, they lost to them in the Super Cup, in the Italian Super Cup. So this is like the equivalent to what we beat Real Madrid in, earlier this year. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 7 matches. Good to know. And then they lost to them again in Serie A in 2024. And yeah, so the last time they beat them was a year ago. Damn, so they've lost to them or dropped points to them at least. They drew in the league and they drew in the Coppa Italia first leg, and then they got spanked 3-0. So yeah, they're in a terrible run of form, and they haven't scored in many games, which is also very interesting. Yeah, they haven't scored since that Bayern match. So they dropped points. They lost to Bologna. Is Bologna even a good team? Where are they at on the table? It's 5th. Okay, so they're not far. So it's understandable, but still, losing right now this late in the season when they're they were fighting for a treble. Their treble hopes are gone, and it seems like they might even lose the league because they've also lost to Roma. So last 3 games they haven't scored a goal. I want to see what the stats were looking like. Okay, so even ball possession here, about even ball possession here. And they dominated possession here, and they still lost by 1 goal, 17 shots. But, Roma had 19, so it wasn't even like a complete domination. They had more XG as well. So, Inter has not been playing well lately. As you can see, Thuram is injured. I saw that it said he may come on last thing I seen. Yeah, it says he's facing a groin injury. He might be back in a few days. I know they just lost Pavard. And Bisek is expected to play. Bisek is pretty good on FIFA. I don't know how good he is in real life. But I thought their back 3 that they play, because they play like a weird lineup. They play they're like a very counter-attacking team. So normally they line up like this. So obviously, Thuram's been out. So they're trying to find like a replacement for him for a striker. I'm pretty sure they've tried different players lately. I'm pretty sure in that striker position. Let me see, lineup. Yeah, so they've tried Correa, Argentine international. They've tried Taremi. Yeah, they're just trying shit at this point. Yeah, and Arnold Tovich, and none of it has worked. The Thuram and Martinez link up must have been very good. I mean, we all saw that goal that they scored against Bayern in I think it was the first leg, where Thuram just played it back and knew Lautaro was going to be there. Lautaro outside the boot finish, just insane strike. Shout out my boy Lauti, man. I fuck with Lauti. People were used to be giving him Higuain shouts, but I think he's actually pretty decent. So, that's Inter's recent run of form. And so, right now they're probably in the worst form of this entire season. They haven't been playing well at all. And they also lost Pavard for, until late May. So, he might not be back. Maybe he could be back for the second leg. I don't know if they really need him. And Thuram is also out. Now, for us, as you know, Balde has been out. We're trying to get him back for this first leg, maybe the second leg. And Lewa is also out, who they were saying that he might be out for both legs. So, I mean, we didn't have him for the Copa del Rey final, but I mean, that was obviously Ferran's competition, and you saw how that ended. Ferran with the goal. If Lewandowski was in that position, he'd probably not scoring that. But who knows? We probably would have had better hold-up play. He was a better physical matchup against Rudiger, but it is what it is. We came away with the win. But like I said, we did play 120 minutes, so our players are going to be fatigued, but we had at least an extra day to rest, more than Inter did. And Inter's still competing for their league, so, they're putting their best 11 out there. So, there's that. Honestly, my thoughts on this matchup, I don't really know. When was the last time we played them? Yeah, we haven't played them since 2022. Damn, okay. So, I mean, we don't have nothing really to go off of much. Who's our lineup back at? Yeah, got them Booze. This is before Yamal was even on the team. We still had Busquets and PK. Damn, so yeah, this isn't a good, thing to go off of. I mean, shit, they still had similar players, But, yeah, where's Bastoni at? How's Bastoni been playing lately? Has he not played recently? Oh, no, he has. Okay, he's just been getting dunked on. And he didn't play the game against Roma. Okay. So, yeah, honestly, for this game, I don't know how to feel. Obviously, look, as you can see, we're in better run of form. And the only thing is just, that our left side is kind of weak. Not having Balde is a little bit scary. But, Gerard Martin could play. Hector Fort could play. Inter's a very counter-attacking team. They play a back three and like 5 in the midfield and then 2 up front. But as you see, they haven't scored in a while. And, we do play a high line, and counter-attack is, our biggest weakness. But, our defense always makes up for it, man. I don't know how to feel about this one. I think, we played them at home, I think, the first leg. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we do. I want to say at least maybe 1-0, maybe 2-1. I don't want to give us too much credit. Rafinha does always show up in the Champions League. Rafinha is our Champions League guy. So, I don't know how to feel about this, though. We are very tired, and we are facing a lot of injuries. So, I'm not 100% too confident that we're going to spank them like how we spanked Dortmund in that first leg 4-0. Or, I feel like our run of form has been decent, but we haven't been having these super high-scoring games like with wide margins. Obviously, we had that 4-3 against Celta Vigo and 3-2 against Madrid, but these are still 1-goal differences, you know what I'm saying? So I can't give us too much credit on that. I think we definitely have been slowing down on the crazy attacking. Things haven't been clicking as much. Hopefully, we could see. I don't know who would be better to play against Inter, Coldmo or Fermin Lopez. Shout out Fermin. He just got his upgrades in FIFA, but they gave him Power Shot Plus, but he has 99 shooting. So, I mean, it is what it is. But dying. So yeah, that's probably my predictions. I want to say 2-1 or maybe a 1-0 for us, and then we go back to Italia to see how it goes. But yeah, I'm not too sure how to feel about this game. I don't think they have much attacking, honestly, and our defense is decent. But I'm just scared because I don't know how we're gonna line up against that 5 in the midfield. But we'll see how that goes. Now for Arsenal, we have Arsenal versus PSG. Now, like I said, PSG has already won the league, their domestic league. Arsenal is second, so I don't know how much they're going for the league. Really, because Liverpool's already has been announced the winners of the Prem. It's early, and Liverpool's already champions, and PSG are also champions. So I don't know how to feel about this. Apparently, Thomas Partey is out because of suspension. I guess picked up too many yellow cards. I guess late in the Real Madrid game he got a suspension, so that's unfortunate for them because he's very good in the midfield. And now Marino can't play striker. They might have to play Trossard as a center forward, which is, he's not bad there. I'm not mad at it. Now, Arsenal is a very defensive team. They have the best defense probably in the world, realistically. Tactically, their defense is very good. They are missing Gabriel, the Brazilian defender, but Kivior has played decent in that position. The things that scare me for Arsenal, like I said, I do root for Arsenal. Damn, they have a lot of injuries. Damn, that's crazy. Ben White has been out for a little while. Jorginho, Calafiori, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Party suspended, Gabriel, damn. ACL, I didn't even know. Havertz, Havertz is kind of ass, I'm not going to lie. Only thing that I'll give them is they've been in a better run of form than PSG. As you know, PSG has already won their league, so it's kind of understandable why, these don't really matter that they're losing. They were unbeaten until these recent games that they played in the league. And it's not like they're playing bad, teams out here. Like, they're not playing everybody. Like, obviously, Hakimi's not playing. They're playing Kang and Lee. Desiree Doué is still coming on, though. All their best players are getting subbed on, so it's not like they're not trying to win. But they are playing, a little bit more of a, probably not their best 11 putting out there that they can. There's definitely players that, they could play that they're not playing. But they, like I said, they drop points. It doesn't matter. They won the league, 1-1 draw with literally 75% possession and 10 shots to 8. So, they're still, kind of dominating, at least in a possession sense. They have a very good midfield, kind of like Barcelona's midfield. Vitinha and Joao Neves is just a great duo in that midfield. And Fabian Ruiz, Euro Cup winner. And again, they're just dominating, bro. 32 shots, 76 possession, and they lost, which is insane. Let's see their lineup. And again, like I said, it's not like they're putting their best 11, but this is probably their best. No, this is their best 11. Actually, my fault. I'm wrong. I thought they might have had Beraldo playing. No, this is their best 11. And you see, they dropped to Nice, and where's Nice at on the league table? They're 6th. So it's not even like it's an amazing team. And they had, again, 75% possession, 32 shots, and 1 goal, which is literally insane. And they lost 3-1 to 7 total shots. They had a 3.16 xG, which is insane, honestly, to lose that. But hey, man, like I said, things can happen. And yeah, this is their best 11. So obviously their recent run of form is worse. Arsenal's last game, they drew to Crystal Palace, which 70% possession, but less XG, less total shots. So shit, does it really matter? And this is one of their better 11s. Raheem Sterling, not that good anymore. I think it's time to put the fries in the bag, Raheem. Saka did come on, though, so it's not like, like I said, it's not like they didn't put a good players out there or they were resting really that crazy because, good players did come on. My boy Kivior with the goal, probably from a set piece. These set piece merchants. Yeah, I don't know. They're, again, damn, shout out Nketiah. I remember when he was on Arsenal. I liked them. But yeah, like I said, the recent run of forms for both teams, Arsenal might be in a little bit of better position. But yeah, I think what's going to hurt them is not having Thomas Partey in the midfield to kind of try to, compete with this midfield that PSG has. They have an insane midfield. It's going to be an interesting one because like I said, Arsenal is one of the better defending teams in the league, but then we have PSG, one of the better attacking teams in the league who play more cohesive football. But I want to say this is at the Emirates. I want to go maybe 1-0 Arsenal, kind of similar to how it was against Liverpool. Arsenal's a better defense than Liverpool, so I want to say maybe 1-0 Arsenal. Maybe a 0-0, I don't know. I want to say 1-0 Arsenal, though. I believe in my boys. Even though Marino's not playing as striker and we have Trossard as center forward, maybe from a set piece, maybe a Kiwior, maybe a Saliba, maybe a little header. Maybe another Declan Rice free kick, I don't know. Maybe a Marino header, I don't know. But I want to say their defense is going to hold up. I don't know. It is crazy to think because if Barcelona goes to the final, we're playing both coaches that, were ex-Barcelona men. We have Arteta, who, was a Barcelona player. We'll have or Luis Enrique, who was a Barcelona player. So, this is just Barcelona greatness, head-to-head going against each other. So that's kind of my preview. It's only the first leg. We can only really speak for the first leg. I don't really have anything for the final. Obviously, I'm rooting for Barcelona-Arsenal final. I think Arsenal could. Honestly, let me be bold. Let me give a prediction. I want to say Arsenal versus Barca for the final. Barca win the Champions League. I'm kind of scared of Arsenal, though. I ain't gonna lie. Their defense is crazy, and their counterattack is pretty decent, and that's our biggest weakness. So if their defense is clicking, And I don't know how soon Gabriel is set to come back. Let me see. How soon is Gabriel set to come back? Bench injured or suspended players. Gabriel is looking to come back. Damn, they have so many injuries. Oh, he's out for the season. Damn. So there is no comeback from him. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, Arsenal did beat Madrid damn near 5-0 if it wasn't for that Saliba giveaway to Vinny, you know. So, I don't know. You saw the way to shut down Real Madrid. I mean, they could probably shut us down similarly. But, I mean, we kind of shut down Real Madrid, too. They only scored from set pieces. Mbappe did score his first free kick against us, which pissed me off. And we did have that Arda Güler delivery to Chouameni, which almost, you know, lost us the game. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I think we're in for something, man, if we meet them in the final. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have a prediction for the final. I'm kind of scared. I feel like we're really going to have to watch these semis very closely to understand what we're in for the final. But, yeah, that's my predictions right now. 1-0 Arsenal at the Emirates going to Paris. And I want to say 1-0 Barcelona or a 2-1 Barcelona going to Italia for the second leg. That's my predictions. Y'all let me know y'all predictions down in the comments below. And we will be here tomorrow for the watch party and on Wednesday for the watch party for both games. So see y'all niggas then.